Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the Blaque Falcon podcast, the first of maybe, or more than likely, many podcasts that will be coming in the very near future. Today, I have, don't adjust your screens, don't worry, you're not seeing double. These are two different people. So basically the whole basis of me doing this podcast was initially I actually did an Instagram poll on my stories asking people, how have I, or rather, should I share the wisdom that I've learned during lockdown about business, about life, about how I've been able to deal with all sorts of things. And the poll was either, I should do a podcast and talk about it, or it should be, I'll just stay low key and just keep to myself. I had 95% of people who kind of saw that bit voted, yes, you should do a podcast. I thought, well, hey, here we are. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to talk. I'm going to play to my strengths. I'm going to share to the world my deep, dark, sultry voice and just share and just talk and just bring some interesting people in there with me to do it. So if you don't know, Blaque Falcon we are a we are a fashion and publishing brand. I started this back in 2017, and ever since then, I've done a collection nearly every year. It started off with t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. The year after that, I did Oxford shirts. I did polos, bomber jackets. The year after that, back in 2019, last year, I did half-zip jumpers. I was looking more into the more knitwear to kind of expand on the prep wear. And then 2020, of course, we all know what happened in 2020. So next year, it's looking to be in the whole gym wear range kind of frame. So to kind of help market that and to help talk and to share the brand story, I just thought, well, hey, why don't I just bring people along and ask them about their story and about their lives as well. So today I have two interesting guests, one of whom is a fellow writer like myself, because I've also written a book. And her name is...
Charlotte. And I've got my twin sister with me today, Claire.
Hello, everyone.
All right. So tell me about yourselves then. Where you guys from? And let's go. Let's go from there.
Born and raised in Brixton.
Yeah,
Till the age of 3.
Yeah.
I never would have got that. Brixton.
I know, right?
Essex,
But
Essex vibes.
But I didn't get your Essex accent the first time I met you.
oh, nice.
No.
That's a perk.
2 or 3 glasses of wine or
Yeah.
2 shots.
I definitely heard East London, but not Essex. I didn't get like bang on Essex.
All the way.
Yeah.
See, we're not even. We live in London now, so we're not technically Essex. But we moved when we were 3 to Hymes Park, which is where we live now.
Yeah.
And we've just. That's us.
Yeah.
How about you?
Chingford. So not too, same area. I was actually born in Archway, North London. Lifelong Gooner. Oh, okay. What are you?
I'm Gina.
Oh, of course you are.
No, we follow Dad, whatever he is. That's what we
Oh, right. So Dad's an Arsenal fan too.
Yeah.
Well, your dad's a smart man, clearly.
Yeah.
Intelligent man he is. Intelligent man. So, okay. Born in Brixton, but you came down to the east. So I take you went to Hymes Park School then?
Yeah.
Sixth form as well?
Yeah.
And then
Went
university?
to
Trinity as well?
Yeah.
In Woodford, Southwood.
Yeah.
Southwood or just
No, it's Woodford.
Woodford, yeah. And then I went to Hertfordshire Uni, and you went to Canterbury Christchurch, didn't you?
Yes, in Kent.
Yeah, but I went to a uni before that for a year.
Mm.
I don't really speak about it much. There's nothing. It was completely different to what I'm doing now, or what I did. I went to Ravensbourne in Greenwich. Have you heard?
Yeah, I've heard of that place.
You've heard of it?
Yeah.
No one's heard of it when I say it. It's a really odd building with circle windows. And I did digital television production, but I only did it for a year.
Right.
And then I thought, this isn't my calling. So went to Hertfordshire to do events, and here I am in a pandemic with no events.
And did you think that events was kind of like your thing then? And if so, what would, no?
It's like Monica says in Friends, I'm always the host. I really love doing events and getting good results. I think it comes from liking to make people happy.
Right.
Getting the kind of almost acceptance from them. So if you can throw a good event, you're going to get their acceptance.
Right.
So that's more why I'm the way
That's
I am.
interesting. You know what? I never even knew that.
Did you not?
No.
That's because I don't like.
Right. So if you don't know, maybe you guys can probably take a guess on who the older twin is. Raise your hand if you're the older twin. There we go. And how many hours or days or years are you older?
So 20 minutes, but it is enough to be an older sister.
She never
Right.
lets me forget it.
So we're
Do you
twins,
know-
but I'm an older sister.
It could have been 2 minutes, but
Right.
we'd have been none the wiser because
Right.
she's...
Because see, the reason why I can tell that you're the first and you're the oldest is because I'm the first of four. First
No
of four
way.
4 boys.
Four
Four
boys.
boys, right?
Your
yeah.
your mama had it all coming
Yeah.
for her.
She tried 4 times to get a girl and she failed.
Oh, bless her. Not in this lifetime.
Not in that
Exactly.
life.
So I can easily tell you're the oldest
Yeah.
because there's that tone of, look, I'm the oldest. I know what's right.
Yeah.
Let's do it my way, kind of thing.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing.
Even if I don't. I put it off to her that I do. So she follows me. No, do you know what? I think with uni, because you went to Ravensbourne, and then I, straight away moved out of home.
Flew the nest.
Flew the nest, went to Canterbury, and I think her seeing me sort of live my best life in first year down in Kent, she realised she'd probably made, not mistake, because I don't believe in mistakes, but
Lessons.
Yeah.
lesson that she should have maybe moved out straight away.
I needed to get that independence, and I needed
Yeah.
to it was like watching a video of yourself have
the time of their life.
Yeah,
Right,
because I
right.
was looking at Claire going out all the time, and I was a bit timid. And then I
You?
thought, yeah, oh my god,
I
yeah,
know, right?
So timid.
We have
And-
changed a lot since
Yeah, thank God for uni.
uni, yeah.
And then we came out. I went to Hertfordshire, lived my best life, learnt by her lessons, so I didn't make those mistakes.
Oh,
Yeah,
so many mistakes. Not mistakes, but as in
drunken mistakes.
drunken nights out.
Something like that. Yeah, but
Not
everyone has
even-
that moments. I mean,
Yeah.
I can read my book, by the way, but I've got a few stories myself of traveling around the
Wait,
country.
but your book's about murder.
The first one is, yeah. Oh, no, the second one is. The second one's primarily on murders. The first one's personal to me because I get into the relationships between friends quite intimately
Yeah.
and girlfriends, etc., girls, all of that. But then I found that in the first book, I actually had a lot of parties in there. Pubs. Well, no, bars, then there's a party scene, then there's a pub, then there's another party scene,
Oh wow.
and then the climax is at another party, but it's at completely different locations.
Yeah.
So towards the end, it's like in a high end ball, everyone's wearing the Venetian masks and everything. But I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, go and read it.
I'm basically just trying to show the different levels of society where you can be at a house party, or you can be at a rave up in Kent, or up
Yeah.
in Romford, or wherever, or you can be in a party up in Knightsbridge. It's still a party, but it's what I was basically showing was just different platforms of it. So
Yeah.
I don't want to go too much into it, man. I don't want to spoil it.
No
The
spoilers.
book is called Drax, Drax. Go on Amazon, type my name down. It's there. Just type in Drax, Ikenna. It's there. So yeah. So
Well, my
okay.
nana asked about what the name of your book was.
Really?
For the life of me.
I have a fan in the Hoy family.
You do.
You actually
Nana
do.
Hoy.
Nana
She's
Hoy,
all
and she's
for
a big
it.
one as well.
She loves the book.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna have to. Oh, does your nan live with you guys?
Well, near us.
Near
Not with
enough.
us, but near us.
Near enough.
No, okay, well, up in Walthamstow or somewhere.
She lives on
Chinkford.
Chinkford Way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So 10 minutes
That's
away.
all right. I'm walking to her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna deliver
already
it to her.
there.
Oh
Hi, Nana Hoy.
Give her a signed
signed
book.
copy.
She'll love
Oh
you.
my God.
What a twin moment.
There you go. So, as twins, then, what was it like? Let's start with Shah. What was it like having an older sister who looked near enough exactly like you? And when I say old, I'm not trying to make you seem as if
No,
you're 10 years
not
old.
at all.
Ancient.
I am the older sister.
No, well, yeah, technically.
I don't think we look alike.
No, but I would say identical because people who haven't seen you before would say you guys look the exact
Like
same.
a
But I'm
really
looking at both of you
spitting
now
image,
because
yeah.
I
Yeah.
see you nearly every morning now at work. And
Yeah.
then,
Looking like a toe, no doubt, with no
Yeah.
makeup on.
well, yeah, with your face mask on. And then
Yeah.
I'm kind of seeing you both, and I'm like, okay, no,
Yeah.
you two definitely look different.
Just a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Just a
No, we
tad.
do. I think. Do you know what? That's as we've grown apart. I think
That's what you need.
we've put your phone on silent.
Oh, can I go and turn my phone on silent?
ahead.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So having a baby sister as a twin, then what was that like?
Do you know what? I think I'm always a worrier. I always worry about her because I feel like, can I put this into words without offending her? I like to do stuff so that she can learn from me, but I also like to boss her about because I want her to be the best version of herself.
Right.
So Charlotte will constantly say to me, especially at the moment, it's her thing, Claire, you put me down. And I'm not putting her down. I'm giving her something to like develop on and grow on.
From the 20 minutes of life experience more that she's got from me.
So but it's little things like the way she eats dinner or something. Like say she talks with her mouth open. I'm like, Charlotte, don't talk with your mouth open.
So
Like,
she's the mum.
it's not, I'm kind of like, I just prefer to tell you what to do. But it's all for your benefit. It's not me just being bossy, even though you think it is.
I think for me it's that constant comparison throughout our whole lives. We've been known as the twins.
So you guys went to Hymes Park School, right?
Yeah.
So you went, you even said it at the same time. So you went to Hymes Park School. Was everyone kind of just saying, oh, Charlotte's doing this, and then they'll tell you about that?
It was.
Or they'll say, oh, Claire's doing that. Charlotte, why aren't you there? Or
It was always,
Yeah.
who's the artistic one, or who's the more intelligent one, or
who's the skinnier one? Or
Yeah.
things like that. And we weren't as well. We were objectified as one person. So they'd be like, oh, the twins. And it wouldn't be Claire and Charlotte.
It wasn't
the twins.
our
It wasn't-
identities.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we really went for when we went to uni.
It was amazing to have, two different identities. People didn't know I was a twin unless I told them. So it was really nice to be able for people to actually like me for me. And
To escape it and to not, but to people not to like us or not like us, just because we're,
true.
together. So, yeah.
that's brilliant. Amazing. Because obviously I'm the oldest of four, so I'm
Yeah.
always constantly like, what's happening there? Okay, cool. And then now, because everyone's just a little bit older, I'm kind of just like, okay, just let them fall in their own sword.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's a little bit different for girls, but for guys, it's very much just let them find out on their own
Yeah.
sort of thing. And if they want some guidance, hey, look, the answers are there anyway. So,
Yeah, 100%.
so Charlotte, it looks like you're the creative one then.
I'm getting there.
No,
I'm
getting
earning.
there.
We call it edginess. I'm earning my triangle. At the moment, I'm a bit more of a square. That's how we describe
you're
it.
a circle with no edges.
So yes. So Claire is really artistic in terms of creating paintings.
Really?
Yeah.
I still do sell paintings. I need to push it a bit more, but I started it in lockdown. It was just something because I did marketing at university, so I have always. Whereas you prefer to hold events, I prefer to do the advertising for events and for brands and that sort of thing. So marketing has always been.
So very quickly then, how would you market an event? Like if I was to just throw a cocktail party, if I was to say, look, Claire, I want to throw a cocktail party.
So all about the socials. So
Yeah.
countdowns, doing, surprises, or what's going to happen there. Sort of that sort of thing. I think the biggest thing at the moment is digital, and then
and reaching out on, it's, as you say, all the platforms.
Yeah,
Podcasts or
Yeah.
it's about creating a brand and more
videos,
of an image and
YouTube videos are sort of like the excitement. You can get those videos and it's like sort of quick cut like scenes of clubbing and things like that sort of thing. So
whereas the event side would be, have you got a list of people you want to invite, delegates, or people who like a drink at a cocktail bar, and how you'd get the communications out to them, and then making sure that everything's like AV is such a massive part. Obviously, you want to not only promote it just before, you want to promote it during, and you want to promote it after.
Pre-post.
And you've got to know your target market as well.
Yeah, and
Right.
It's just as long as you're interacting with everyone and anyone.
just hands-on
pushing,
communication,
Yeah.
Biggest thing.
Okay. All
and then
right.
getting drunk when you're there.
Yeah.
So obviously during the event you just have a little bit of fun and just,
course.
do your thing, have a few
Work
cocktails.
hard, play harder.
That's it, exactly. So Charlotte,
Yeah.
you've got a little creative storytelling endeavor.
I have indeed.
Why don't you just give us a little rundown on that?
So
What's it called, first of all?
it's called Shah's Journey. So at the beginning of lockdown, probably much like yourself, you realised that things were a bit different. Things were changing, not just for everyone, but for you personally.
Yeah.
And I remember, very, very random, but my dad has always wanted to write a biography or write a book. And he always says these things, and he's never done them.
Our dad's a man of words, not a man of doing.
Yes. And I just thought, I do not want...
I'm sure Dad will listen to this at some point.
Yeah, he's
Will he?
sorry,
Dad.
like girls.
Okay.
But I just thought, I do not want to be 53 years old with 5 kids thinking, or 2 kids, I don't know. But I just thought I do not want to have looked back and regret not doing that. And I think one of my friends, she comes from a really wealthy family. She's got a really good job that she loves. And she messaged me and she was so down that it was like worrying. She had to move in with back to her parents just because she was like really low. And I just thought, you just never know. So many of my friends suffer from different mental health issues, or have done, like throughout me knowing them, including myself. And I just thought, we all talk about them, but once they've passed, no one talks about how they dealt with them, or why they felt the way they did, or how they can relate it to me, or other friends. And she suffered in silence during some of her darkest days. And I just thought, if I just write about this book, about her and other people, it might actually make sense. It might encourage people and inspire people to talk more about how they're feeling, or at least read it and be like, oh, that's why I felt like that, or
that's a good way to deal with that.
Yeah,
and that people can also identify with each other's stories.
And what a time to hit that, or to discuss it, than a lockdown where suicide rates have gone up, or the world has almost stopped.
Mental health is like heightened.
Yeah, and we're in mental health week now. We were last week, I think.
Awareness,
Yeah, and I just wanted to just really discuss it and be a bit sassy with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the passage that I read, that's very much the impression I got. When I was reading it, from the paragraph you showed me, I kind of heard your voice, which is good because it shows your authenticity.
I hope so.
Because with Drax, with my first bit, when I gave it to someone else, she's into mental health herself, and we'd spoken multiple times. She said that when she read Drax, she very much saw my personality just there, just the highs, the lows, everything, all the emotion, the way I think it's all in my first book. And I wrote that back in 2015 and then edited it in 2016, but then got it all out in 2017.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So 2 years to write that book.
Yeah.
So essentially that was kind of like my therapy in a way.
Yeah.
Just writing it, because it's a very, very, as you know, it's a very, I'm probably the same with you with your paintings and art.
Yeah.
It's very much a cathartic process.
You can go through the motions. There's some chapters that I was so apprehensive about writing about, because I knew that I would have to go through the motions in order to get kind of the best side of me,
and there was
the
chapter,
rawest side of me.
Yeah, there was a chapter that I read, or the start of the chapter that I read, and it was so
harrowing.
It was so raw, and it was almost hard for me to read, because I was there with her, and I felt the emotion. So I can't even describe how strong it was to this part of this chapter. It was really, I thought, if I can feel that, I really hope other people can feel that, because even though it was hard to read and it was so raw, it's good because it shows that people aren't alone in the world when they go through these things.
Exactly. So everyone's on this journey with you, technically, when they read it.
Exactly, and everyone feels the pain.
And there's no one that's, oh, I've been through worse, or they've been through worse than me. It's not like that. It's about how it feels for you.
Yeah, that's a big thing. A lot of my friends say, oh, Claire, you've been through so like the worst things in the world. And I say, but everyone goes through hard things.
It's what life throws at you.
Yeah, you can't.
And how you deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
So let's quickly go through not quickly, let's go through each of the chapters then, because you've got 8 chapters, but I'm sure you go into each of them, because I asked you to put in one particular chapter in, and you've added it in.
I did.
But we'll get into that one when we get there.
Yeah.
I know when we get into it, I'm sure I can throw my input in there.
Yeah,
but I liked it. I'm glad you put it in there, because I was like, no, you have to put it in there.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to direct this to women are going to read this and be like, so where's this chapter on this?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into it. So,
I'm excited.
I know.
Yeah. So the first chapter is Affirmations.
Yes.
Let's get into that.
It's a bit of a... I can't remember where I came up with this. I probably didn't come up with it. Probably one of my friends did. I just basically... Not many people... You didn't know what an affirmation was, did you? Before
didn't have a clue.
didn't
I was
have a
like,
Scooby
Charlotte
Clooby.
enlightened me.
Yeah, it's basically a way of looking at yourself and saying, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be I am grateful or I'm so ecstatic with the world. It doesn't always have to be like that. I think it's more religious. I think it can be.
Sort of. It's more about how you see it yourself.
Yeah.
Affirmations are basically a way of you affirming your own perception of the reality that you're in.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to put that in my book.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for it. Take it. Take
Quote
that one.
him, make sure.
That's what affirmations are, because what you're basically saying is, I am grateful. Okay. When you say things like that, you then now perceive. That's why they say that when you do affirmations, it's best to do it in the morning,
Yeah.
because that's before you start interfacing with your immediate stimuli.
Yeah.
Like you wake up, brush your teeth, go use the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah. It's
When
a
you
very
do an
real
affirmation, it does actually affect, because what you're actually doing, you're changing the synapses within your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is actually what's determining what's actually happening and around you and how you perceive it.
Well, I think one of my affirmations was, I'm better at board games than I was before lockdown, or something silly like that.
And the next day
I'm
you
all
won at
jiggly in the
Monopoly.
right places,
Yeah.
or something silly like that. Yeah, and
Jenga.
yeah, Jenga, Monopoly. Oh, pro. But
That's it. You
I
bought
am.
Knightsbridge and the Hilton. And
Yeah,
Hilton Hotel
and
all
is
the
it
dice, yeah.
Marylebone Street?
Marylebone
Marylebone
Street.
Street.
Wow,
Yeah.
she said Marylebone.
Wow. Let's just rewind to
Back.
Yeah, but no, it was one of those that it was. I'd literally started the book as I was sitting in the garden.
Yeah.
I'd just been told this news about the friend who was really down, and I thought, oh my goodness. I was like,
Yeah.
today I am happy, or today I am thankful for the people I've got in my life.
Exactly.
You know, like I just really had to take myself. I had to take myself and give myself a bit of a talking to. I put myself to one side, gave myself a little talking to, and said, all right, you're not on cloud 9 right now, but look at what you have got. Look at what you are, and also how other people see you. Like, I don't.
And how far you've come.
Yeah, and in my eyes, I don't even deserve the friends that I've got. They're so amazing. So to kind of say, no, you are kind, or you are, I don't know, funny.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was just-
affirmations.
yeah.
So what?
It's a good start, because you start it at the day in the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
You start it in the book, and it's going to carry you forward.
So what affirmations, if you're happy to share, because usually affirmations are quite personal to people. Maybe you like to keep that to yourself. But what affirmations can you share? If you look, what do you normally say to yourself in the morning?
I normally take a deep
Or
breath.
at night before bedtime?
Yeah. Well, I normally take a massive breath. And I normally look at myself. I look at my eyes, and I try and just kind of. I don't think about how I necessarily feel, because sometimes it can be quite. Your mind can.
Your emotions can actually betray you.
Yeah. I normally just kind of take myself bare in the face and just say, you know, for me at the moment, one of my affirmations is I'm really strong. Don't always believe it. But from what I've done, I've exceeded my expectations. So now I can get new ones.
I've seen a change. I think 100%. I've seen a change in you, the way you were before lockdown to now. I mean, there's a change in a lot of people, but I do that in particular. I've really noticed that as well.
Yeah, thanks. Oh my God, she's never said that to me in her life.
I know.
See?
At least we got it on recorded, so
That's
that
it. It's
you can
recorded.
look back.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So that's your affirmations, and then the subheading of that chapter was depression. Then.
Yes.
So let's get into that then. So what do you kind of delve into with the depression with you?
So I obviously began the book when I wasn't, I just found out that my events job, my contract was coming to an end. I knew how hard it would be to find another job with the experience that I had. My ex had just broken up with me, and I wasn't really doing anything, and I just thought, this isn't, even though I feel like I'm going through it at the moment, this isn't the worst I've been, and I think it deserves talking about.
Yeah.
And I described the book as kind of, it's like a marathon, and it's like, you start off small, and
Not sprint. Yeah.
it's
that's
a
the
marathon,
one.
not a sprint.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you've got to push yourself, and even when you're feeling down or feeling depressed, you've got to push yourself past those emotions, ride them out, don't suppress them, and then you will see that light at the end of the tunnel. It is there. I hate it when people go,
Maybe that's something I need to read that chapter then, because you always say I suppress my feelings.
she does.
I
We're very,
don't,
very
but
different. I'm
we've-
really
We
sensitive,
have
and
got a different attitude.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're quite sensitive to emotions, whereas I think I'm a bit more sort of, I don't know, harder with it. But it is,
Yeah.
I think it's probably the way we've had therapy as kids, and as we've grown up,
Right.
we've dealt with stuff differently.
It's
haven't
almost
we?
like word vomit. You can't help but start writing. Once you start writing about something you've gone
Yeah.
through, you then think, oh, and my friend went through something similar, and this is how she dealt with it. And
Did you ever have any writer's block when you were writing? Writer's block? Did you just wake up thinking, man, I can't think of anything?
yes,
Okay.
and then when I do that, normally I pick up a self-help book someone else has written,
Yeah.
and I think, right, well, what did they do when they were going through this, or when they have a chapter that says accepting who you are? Let me
Yeah.
give that a read. And
Yeah.
then I'd get my phone, I'd go for a walk in a forest, get my phone and just voice note as I read everything that that came to me as I was walking, and that's kind of helped with the writer's block, I think. 'Cause-
Definitely just clear in your head. I
But
think.
it's more of a case of, I don't want to get into that because it evokes such a strong emotional response.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's more what I'd say that I've had since starting, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Okay, so depression. So again, so you basically use the book as your outlay to kind of get your emotions out. To kind of, that's probably the healthier way to do it, rather than getting into self-destructive behavior that you see a
Yeah.
lot of people
Yeah,
do
I mean,
on television.
I've
drinking
done-
too much.
Yeah, I've done the counselling, I've done the
Yeah.
drinking, not excessively, obviously. I'm not an alcoholic, but I'm just saying. I've just, gone out and...
No, you've never drank to
partied
suppress
hard
your
and-
feelings, though.
No, but when you want to go out and enjoy yourself for the night, and
Yeah.
you want to forget all your worries that you've had.
Yeah.
And then he just comes back straight after, right?
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
next day you're even worse. Because, well, for me, as someone who has struggled with mental health before, normally you're worse the next day. So it's
exactly.
always, I don't know, I've been taught my whole life to just talk about your problems, yet it seems to be still an issue in the world. So I've never been a particularly big writer, but I think it's something that I love doing.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a way of wording things. I don't think you expected me to be able to.
Oh, I did. I did have faith in
Well.
you. Even though I may be harsh on you, I did have faith in you. Of course I did.
Does that tie in with the next chapter, the M word?
Yes, so much. So
So share what you can rather than getting too much into it.
absolutely. So obviously, people that don't know, but my M word is mum. And Claire and I our mum got diagnosed with cancer when she was, we were three.
So she had it for 7 years and passed away. I think it was a month and
It was a month and a day after our 10th birthday.
yeah. So
I remember
we
that. She hung on, didn't she,
for
us?
so long. She
But
was
we
just amazing.
were always brought up with a mum who was poorly, so always having chemo or do you remember
Yeah.
her legs? She collapsed
yeah,
all the time.
She
at
was
one
sick
point.
quite a lot as well.
really sick, which triggered a lot of issues later on. Eating disorders, phobias. It came later on for me, not necessarily as much for you.
No.
Which is another strange thing about being a twin. Why it affected me more.
Yeah, you'd think we'd be the same. People say, "Oh, you're the
Nah,
same."
Exactly, and that's what
But we're
people seem to
not.
forget. They just think because you look alike, you must all be going through the same thing at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah.
No.
It's not the case.
No, and it's
Yeah.
yeah,
you know,
I was
it's-
definitely a mummy's girl. So it was more. I think I remember my first line of that chapter is those that know me know that this kind of it will occasionally catch me a few drinks in on an occasional night out. There's some triggers sometimes that, and I go on to talk about triggers that normally I'm quite strong about it. It's certainly not my most depressing chapter because
Right.
I'm such a strong believer in it makes you who you are.
yeah.
It- oh my God, it makes. I mean, yeah,
And
of
it-
course, I'd love to change it if I could,
yeah.
but I can't. So
Exactly.
I roll with it and I grow with it and I learn from it, and it does really. I feel like it's made us who we are.
100%, and it is, it is rubbish. You think, oh, if you could change it for the world, you would. But and it's like with those triggers, it does happen. But I think as long as you're surrounded by the people that you love and who love you, you can get through anything.
100%. And do you know what? It's not one of those things that I blurt out. And it's not because I'm private about my life. I'll share anything. But it's more because I don't feel like I need to. I don't need to go, oh, poor me, I've been through this. Because unfortunately, in this world, it's actually not so rare to lose a parent. It's not the
And
rarest
that's not
thing
just
in the world. And
that's not just losing them. I mean, a lot of parents are divorced. It's sort of, separation issues. So
yeah, I always say our mum didn't leave by choice. And that's a positive that comes out of it. She tried to hold on for us. It's just, thank God we had each other. But it was more about, I wrote about the chapter just so that people kind of got more of an idea that I'm not just, oh yeah, I'm really depressed, or because it's not about that. It's about
just your journey,
just showing people what I've been through.
I see that based upon what you've just said. I see that as you overcoming it.
Yeah,
that's
and
it.
Do you know what? When you get older, it actually does get harder because you're not as innocent. You're not as shielded from it when you're a little bit older, I don't think.
No.
When we were younger, we didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
Whereas now we kind
Mum's
of...
not here anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
Right.
Why...
Yeah.
Well, we said goodbye to her. We saw her at probably something that no one will ever imagine, seeing their mum passed away on a bed in front of them. And no one... I mean, I specifically said in that chapter, when I went into the room to say goodbye to her, that's what I'm going to keep to myself out of this chapter. But it's something that people can't imagine, but you want to help them get there and help them
100%.
say, well, I feel like this, so some days I get sad about this, but it's okay. This is why.
Don't give too much
and
away.
We knew.
Yeah. Let's not give too much away.
Yeah.
Next chapter, it's called IBS. What's that?
Oh my Christ. It's irritable bowel syndrome. It's a health condition.
Okay.
Random as hell. A lot of people suffer from it. Again, not Claire, just myself.
Yeah.
I am dairy intolerant, and so this book it all links. So my IBS was diagnosed when I was in my second year at uni, and a trigger was anxiety. And I think 80% of your mind is influenced and impacted on your stomach. So if you look after your gut...
I found out from a doctor recently. He told me that, Kenny, you having stomach issues? And I said, no. My mind was telling me, well, yes, because there are times when I feel something coming, but I'm okay. But then he told me that the reason why I'm having issues is because my colon, my large intestine, is actually affected by my emotional health.
Stress.
Wow.
It's my emotional stress. It's my emotional body that's affecting my physical body. And he said that my left leg is weaker than my right leg, which is true because in football, my stronger foot is my right foot.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I find even in
He
yoga,
could tell that, just you didn't have to say.
even in yoga, it's harder for me to stand on my left leg than it is on my right. But why is that? It's because my emotional body isn't fully balanced and my chakras aren't in full alignment, and that's because of my emotions, and that's down to things that's happened in the past that I'm still dealing with right now. But it's not like it's overwhelming me. That's why I said let's do this podcast, because everything kind of rose up to the surface, and now I'm it's like I've shedded so much of my skin now. I'm like, okay, cool, so why don't I just share this and just do a podcast?
Absolutely. And what you've been through, I tell you what, you have to be in the right frame of mind to not attack it, because you don't need to do anything aggressively, but as in to be ready to discuss it and to move on and to let the lesson be learned and move forward with it.
Precisely.
100%.
Self-care is like one of the most tiring things you could do. But I think in this book I've really discussed about how you have to listen to your body, listen to your mind and your heart and your gut. They all tell you different things. So it's about understanding the small things. In my case, my dairy intolerance. Oh my goodness, I know when I've had dairy, but it doesn't help when I'm stressed, because that's when...
Trust me, I know when she's
So
had
does that
dairy.
mean that you can only have plant-based milk?
No,
we have Alpro yogurt, don't we? I mean, she's converted me
I've
on the
rubbed
yogurt
off on you,
side.
yeah.
Oat milk,
I have,
coconut.
Don't get me wrong, I still love my meat. I'm not vegan by any means. I'll never be vegan.
So you can't have mozzarella pizza.
No. Oh, don't. I've not had
You
proper
can't
cheese.
have the dough. You have to have what sort of dough do you have?
Sourdough,
Gluten-free?
sourdough.
Gluten-free, yeah. It's got to
And-
have no
and
wheat.
But that's not that much of a bad thing then, because that's not
It's
really
not.
good. No, yeah.
But when
Yeah,
I'm
so-
stressed,
yeah,
it's
she gets-
heightened. And I know about a handful of my friends who go through the same thing, and they're like, I should really get that checked, or I really don't know what triggers it, but my belly's killing me. And it's like, well, I've been
Right.
diagnosed. Let me tell you about what I've got. And
Yeah, it might encourage them to go and get themselves checked out at the doctors
Yeah.
to see if they have it too.
Right. Okay. So IBS, we'll leave that for everyone's imagination.
Yeah.
For people to find out themselves when they get the book when it comes out.
Yeah.
But happiness, that's the subheading over there. So let's get into that. Is fitness and wellness part of that?
It is, but it's very much focused on what works for you. So I started jogging, very quickly realised I didn't love it, so I didn't force myself to do it, but I kept moving, and I found something by working in a gym, funnily enough. What works better for me is lifting weights. You know, it's all about the comforts, or how much you want to push yourself. And what is happiness? What would you sit here and define happiness as?
It's
Not easy to do, I don't think.
Yeah, it's when you do who you are, that's when you feel the true happiness. For example, when I wrote Drax, I didn't do it thinking, all right, I'm going to be a millionaire like this, bang. Oh, I got this, I got that. I'm doing okay, yeah. In 2 weeks, Puff Daddy's going to wear my stuff and I'm done. No, I did it all for free.
Yeah.
But the true joy is when I have, for example, yourself. Was it yesterday you said it? You said, oh my God, I saw your lookbook and everyone just looks so elegant. And I was like, that for me was true happiness, because that was my direct intention, was to kind of create a brand of sophistication and timeless authenticity through clothing and through writing and through just basically a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
And for someone to kind of just get that by looking at a few images, that's just happiness. When
yeah,
people,
you're smashing it.
Yeah, and when really people in the gym now I know you've seen some people wear my stuff in the gym now. It's like when I just see some dude some of the guys in the gym work out with my vest on. It's like, that's it right there. All those months of me grinding and trying to get the design right, trying to get the fit right, just running back and forth, trying to make sure the material was correct, does it fit right? That's worth it. For me, that's happiness to me.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to get to that conclusion?
Years. I remember Johnny just kept on telling me, Ikenna, you got to do a gym line. You got to do a gym line. You got to do a gym line. And I was just like, because of work, because of full-time work, I just kept putting it off for various reasons. And then it's only when I actually jumped and did it, that's when literally everyone inside the spin class was like, okay, what's that? Okay, what's that? And then all of a sudden during lockdown, post-lockdown, everyone's just been going into the website and supporting. I was like, wow, okay.
And you've seen it boom.
So this is it now. So it's just great, man.
Yeah.
The network's growing. You're here now. I mean, we only started talking a month ago now.
Oh, yeah.
And here we are already like recording ourselves in a podcast, and me, and now your grandma likes me now.
I've known you for years.
Made it in the Way household, that's for sure.
I think that that for you is such pure happiness and pure joy.
Yeah.
And you worked for it. I don't think happiness comes from just getting things given to you. No. If the hard work actually does pay off, you don't even. I think people our age, we're struggling. We don't know what we want. Social media is telling us one thing.
Yes.
Our degrees are telling us another thing.
Right.
But the harsh reality of the world in lockdown is telling us a whole big fat.
So you both got degrees then, right?
Yes.
Degree
in public relations, media and marketing.
PR, media, marketing.
Yeah,
and
mine's events management and marketing. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You know.
And you're probably like myself, who kind of came out of uni thinking, I'm done.
I'm done.
Oh yeah, I was like, I've made it.
Pass me my exec position.
Exactly.
Pass me the three-figure salary.
Uni, and then like, you know, and then reality just slaps you in the face, and here you are.
And even now it still slaps me in the face. I mean, I got made redundant, so
yeah.
And then I have got a new job finally, but it was, you know, that was a slap in the face. I thought, oh, that won't happen to me for years.
So with Claire and
2 years in,
I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like things have always happened more to me.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Some really bad things obviously
I think you have been a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
In certain things.
So I think when I got when my contract ended, Claire didn't expect she to be made redundant. You didn't expect it.
No, I didn't.
So I think when it happened, and I am supportive of you, but for me, I was almost glad. And when you went through your breakup and you were really struggling with some of your emotions, I was almost glad, because I thought, finally you get to be human. And
You know, there's this thing about breakups that I found out where everyone has that one relationship that kind of wakes you up.
Yeah.
And it's not
Well,
necessarily
that one
the one you think it's
Every-
going to be.
Yeah.
Every woman goes through she meets. Are you familiar with Greek gods?
Yeah.
Hades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every girl meets a Hades.
Yeah.
And every guy meets a Medusa.
Yes. 100%.
That, you know, if you look at Medusa's face, or you look into her eyes, you turn into stone. And then
yeah.
like Hades,
100%.
he drags you into the underworld, and
Yeah.
he looks attractive at first, but then when you get to know him, he's actually just a little boy.
He's a toe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Same
We've
thing
spoke.
with Medusa. Medusa looks great, but then when you look into her eyes, then you
She's
know
got you.
you're frozen.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through it, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes.
Read my book; it's there.
Yeah, literally. And sometimes you can realise that actually you yourself are. So, well, going through my breakup, I went out with my ex and we were at this party. And I think the next day he said, he went, oh, I thought you were angry at me, you know, at one point because you spoke to everyone apart from me. And I thought, wow, I'm with someone and I'm treating them like that.
Right.
I need to look at myself and think, should I even be with this person if I'm being that unfair? Like, fair enough, I wasn't necessarily the issue, but I looked at myself and thought, you're not happy. If you're treating someone like this subconsciously, you're the Medusa. Stop being so cold.
Well, he's
Do
Hades.
something about
Oh, yeah.
it.
He'll be
Yeah.
the Hades.
He'll be Hades,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know him or anything, but yeah.
he's Hades.
Right. Okay. So happiness. Happiness is what you make it yourself. So in your book, you kind of get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So what else do we have? Life as an identical twin.
Yes. This is a very, very. Oh, it's a difficult one.
It's interesting because you're both here, so we don't want to have any punch-ups between both of you.
Yeah, no.
We just want to just keep the love between the whole
Yeah.
sisters.
I haven't
Be
let
nice.
Claire read this bit yet.
Okay.
Just don't paint me in a bad light,
I
please.
don't,
Okay.
but I do reflect on the competition and how it can wear you down. I think sometimes, in fact, am I correct in thinking there's a subheading that says toxic relationships?
Yeah.
Right.
Relationships, toxic relationships, and then the best bit is after that, which we'll get into.
Yes. So,
Which is, I think that's linked into happiness.
yeah.
The last bit, but we'll get into that.
So,
And then the 5th chapter is my favorite.
well, with the relationships part, it's more friends, but it ties in this section, it's more friends, it's more my girls, and you know, I think toxic relationships in terms of not necessarily men, not necessarily in that part, because you'll agree with me. Sometimes your harshest critics can be your family members. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you will agree with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally.
She will agree with me because she knows, and it's not necessarily you, but I think when you're trying to do something, it's like, say you were Willy Wonka and you lived in a chocolate factory and you were trying to go on a diet and not get fat.
Yeah.
You were living in a chocolate factory. It's right there. It's that
Just
temptation
pass me
is
the
right
vegan
there.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. For me, people say, don't compare. Nana's terrible. She goes, be yourself, don't compare. I'm with Claire every single day. I talk to her at least 3 times a day.
Yeah, at least.
My competition is constantly there. It's constantly a reminder of maybe what I'm not happy with myself, or what I'm not need to change, or what I am possibly better at doing than Claire. You know, it's constantly there. So it's really hard to accept yourself and be your own person when you're right there, and I can't escape
Fine,
that.
I'll go.
But I'm so grateful that she is, because she will give it to me straight. You know, everyone's got that one person in their life that
Gives it to him as straight as possible.
as straight as it can get. You know, especially you having 3 other siblings, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah,
get
but they know I'm the oldest, so.
right. Well, this is their side then, because I'm the youngest and you're the oldest. But
Yeah.
it's one of those. It's not a negative chapter, but I feel like you'll be quite surprised at some of the things that I've.
Don't offend me and let me read it before it gets published.
Yeah, they know the book. I mentioned Claire. I do mention you quite a lot. So, yeah, it's one of them. Not many people.
And
you know.
toxic relationships, is that tied in with it?
Well, it is, because our dad is very. he's very protective, and I think
Rightly
sometimes
so.
Which, we
Yeah.
can't blame him for
Rightly
it.
yeah,
so.
because we are, all he has, I guess. But at times it does more damage because he struggles to accept us. When I think he'll bring out new rules when he feels like he's losing the control, and it's maybe it's a dad thing, maybe it's a dad and daughter thing. I don't
think
know.
he doesn't always just let us be us. Like, we like our fake tan. We like, our makeup. We're
very different to every other
fashion.
Hoy family member that has ever lived.
Yeah, we're into clothes, and we had a shoot the other week. Like,
Modelling and
we're into that, and just I think it's a different world to him. It's not something he was brought up in. He doesn't see it.
And he hasn't got that woman to tell him, no, it's okay. It's okay that
That's their girls. That's what they
Yeah.
do. He hasn't got that. So.
And it can become quite toxic when you feel like you can't be yourself around your dad. Even though he's supportive, he is still controlling over things that he doesn't necessarily know much about.
Yeah.
He's always pushed education, rightly so, because he didn't have one, and he's done well for himself considering.
Right.
But it can be quite suffocating, and I think
he's just got to understand we're adults now. We're not stupid. We've got
Exactly.
degrees. We've got good jobs.
I think
we're not.
in terms of toxic relationships, people don't realise sometimes they can be closest to home. It doesn't have to be a boyfriend. It can be someone staring at you right in the face you see every single day.
Yeah.
I'm not saying me and you are toxic. I think there's definitely some.
I'm not.
No, we're not. But there's definitely things that people don't realise
Right.
necessarily. So
And
Okay.
the best part about this chapter is accepting who you are.
yeah, massive thing that I'm still doing. I think I've come leaps and bounds.
You have.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, it's going to take some more years. I'm not there yet, but
And also, I think you have stopped comparing us two because we're different now. Like,
yeah,
you like different. I know we're sitting here in the same trousers.
like
you
you're in
do,
the same trousers
and I've got them
same
shoes as well. But we do. We like different styles now. I think we're a bit more. We're creating our own identity, so there isn't so much to compare to.
I know that
perhaps.
everyone's looking at us on that camera, going, they look exactly the same. They're not different at all.
Yeah, no, I reckon people who don't know you will probably be like, no, they're probably the same person. But just looking at both of you now, I can tell. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, chapter 5. What's that one?
Men.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness
It's
me!
men. I don't even know where to begin. Oh, we hate
Yeah.
them.
Now, I'm going to take some credit with this because I
Yes,
actually
you
asked you
should.
to put this.
You
Because I actually
should.
asked you to put this chapter in because your sister asked me. Actually, no, your sister told me that the book's going to be marketed towards women, and I specifically said, "All right, cool. If it's going to be on women, based upon what I've read,
Yeah.
you've got to put a chapter on there about guys
See,
because
smart.
that's exactly
Smart
that's
thinking.
exactly what girls are going to want to know.
Yeah, of course.
They'll be. I'm imagining you're all there, like having a sleepover with all your friends. You're eating ice cream. Bridget
pizza.
Jones's Diaries on the TV.
Yeah.
And what's the number one topic after that movie's finished?
How much we hate men.
Men are trash.
Men are trash.
Right, exactly. So, well, not in that context, obviously, but
Yeah.
yeah. So let's get into
Yeah.
what can you share about that
There's-
particular chapter then?
What you see on social media. So I've got a little algorithm of my own. If people post a lot more about their partners or their boyfriends, it doesn't necessarily mean they're happy. It actually means sometimes that they're actually the complete opposite and on the verge of breaking up. I've seen it happen. I've seen it firsthand. I think I've even done it myself. I post more to act
Probably.
like things are fine, knowing that they're actually not. They're probably going to come to an end. And
Right.
I've only had like 3 boyfriends. I don't think I know anything really about men.
Right.
They're hard to grasp. But
But then this is what I said the other day is I suggest that when you ask guy questions to guys that you trust.
yeah,
I'm
that
always
don't
open
want one
to
thing.
I'm always open to girls asking me about guy stuff. Oh, why do guys do this? And I'll just give you the straightest answer ever.
Yeah.
And actually, that's when you'll be able to tell whether you're dealing with a real man or just another little boy.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's the boy in men that are yet to become men, I think, that really lets them down at times. It's just
No, all the time.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
all the time. No, and I'm agreeing because I see it myself.
So you
Yeah.
must see it at work, right? Where he's smiling because he knows. He
knows.
knows.
It's okay. I won't be at work anytime soon, so it's fine. Go
Yeah,
on.
it's all, so I will do things, or I will speak to someone, and I never really know whether their intentions are completely innocent and good, or whether there's an alternative. What is it? Is it an
Ulterior motive.
That's
Ulterior
it.
motive, yeah.
And yeah, you must see it. You must. Surely you do. Or am I just being really big-headed and don't know what I'm talking about?
Guys,
Some of the guys, they try it a little bit, and
so for example, just picture me a scenario then.
so I went up to the gym and I went over to the weight area to do some squats, and I feel like every man, all of a sudden it was like they just turn like this and they've got their weights like that as they're looking,
Yeah.
and they don't expect me to.
Yeah, because
have
because guys are naturally more visual.
The
Guys are
testosterone in that room.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think there's a preconceived idea of what type of girl I am. I like to go out and party. I like to drink. I like to get my makeup on. I like to, but I've got a brain, and I really, really.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
But I just hate the fact that there's a preconceived idea of maybe I'm not intelligent, or I'm easy because or blondes have more fun, eh? Like, I hate all that, and it's so common.
It's the
Just dye your
21st
hair
century.
brown then, innit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shave it off. Why don't I pull a Britney and just shave it all off?
You just had the
Not
curly
having
that you had the other day.
My curly hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fake tan and all. You
Very
like-
hard to tame
Yeah.
for that hair, but yeah, no, that's my alter ego that
Ulterior
comes
motive.
out.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. When she's
Okay.
feeling sassy.
So guys are naturally going to be more visual. So I can tell you that dudes don't go to the gym to stare at girls.
They hopefully concentrate more on what they're doing.
For their own benefit, yes, but it's going to be difficult for a dude to, for example, do some deadlifts and you two will go past and he's not going to look.
No.
Yeah.
That's going to be
We might be
very, very
looking.
difficult for him to know because we're just naturally more visual. That's
Yeah.
just nature. I don't think that's the same with women. I think women tend to respond more to energy more than what you see. Okay, you see that Brad Pitt's over there, but you're not really going to be looking at him because it's him. You're going to be looking at him because of the energy he's giving off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's a
Alright.
really interesting
Well,
analogy.
My ex, for example, he was a bodybuilder and
Okay.
incredible to look at when he had a spray tan because he was ginger,
Don't discriminate.
Okay.
honey.
I'm just saying, but no, he was amazing to look at, but there was something missing. There was just something missing. The energy was off, and it's really hard, I think, as a 23-year-old to find someone who you've got that vibe from that you can take out of the friend zone.
I think
That
as well,
it's
though,
so difficult.
you saying about energy, it's interesting. You can have an energy with someone, but it can almost fizzle, and as soon as you find it in someone else, I think women, we put all our energy into something.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
all our
I
eggs
think
in
I
one
find.
basket,
So,
don't we? Really?
No, I was with my ex, and the energy just didn't. It fizzled out, and
And you were kind of
My
I
head
describe
kinda
it, you were
turned.
coasting on this. We're okay.
Yeah, and I think my head turned, and the energy levels that drew me to someone else, I knew instantly that I had to do something about that. I wasn't going to, mess about. So
I think as well as women, we're taught, our grandparents, they were together when they're 16. They make it work. They've been
culture,
together.
man.
It's
it's completely different. We
And
are
at our age, we
different
do not need to
worlds.
make, what's the word, compromises.
At your age, back in that time, you would have been married with 2 kids. by
Two
now.
kids
Yeah,
by
oh
now.
my God, my nana, she had already had dad by now.
And
Two of her.
And they're
Really?
amazing.
Yeah.
Or your grandma?
Yeah.
The one that likes my book.
Yeah. And the other grandma had her baby at 17. So
Yeah.
we're from
I
a
just-
very young grandparent.
I do believe in a
family.
bit of give and take.
Yeah.
But at our age and in this day and age, we really do not need to prioritise them over ourselves. This is the times that we can be selfish. We can put ourselves first. We can do our own thing. And lockdown, oh my goodness, the amount of couples that have broken up through
Yeah.
lockdown.
All
Mine
got
did.
pregnant.
All got pregnant, one or the other.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
the pregnant bit, but
Yeah.
people breaking up.
Yeah, 100%.
Unwanted kids aren't needed. Now I'm playing. Yeah, but okay, yeah, that is true. That is true. Very true.
I think women stick by men, quite loyal.
Yeah.
Naturally, just because we're taught that you go through the hard times, make up for the good times. You don't always need to do that. You need to know when the line's being crossed, and when you can just say, do you know what? No, I don't
It's
need
like what I
it.
said to you the other day. It takes a long time for guys to mature up to a point where he's going to be a worthy mate for a woman.
Yep,
It takes a
100%.
long time. Usually, if he's in his 20s, that's usually the refinement stage.
I've got a guy question.
Go on.
Do guys get intimidated by women who are successful in a certain sort of way?
If he's intimidated, then he's a boy.
Right.
I love it.
If he's a man, then he'll more than likely I wouldn't say turned on by it, but he would
More
respect
attracted
that.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've met me personally when I went to America, when I went to Belgium.
Mm.
There was a lot of women who were in the exact same position who minds were right, they just couldn't find the right dude, and they it's not that they asked the right thing, but I just saw it. They were just a bit frustrated. It's because dudes, a 23-year-old girl who has her mind straight is going to find it difficult to find a 23-year-old guy who's going to have his own mind straight, because it takes guys are like real estate. The older he gets, if he keeps maintaining the home, if he keeps refurbishing it, maintains it, eats the right food, for example, works on his mind, works on his discipline, he's got courage, he's a man of principle, charisma, he knows his pathway, he's going to be much more attractive than the guy who's just going to be staying at home watching Netflix, scratching his backside.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I had it's really about kind of having those men that are go-getters. I had a guy, he was 29, and he messaged me, and he loved travelling. He loved most things, and I was like, oh my Christ, I found this is so great. Why are you single?
That's not me.
I was like, why are you single? About an hour later, I'd had 10 missed messages, about 21 questions. Oh, bored of me already, huh? And I thought, oh my goodness, this is why. He's still a boy. He's not a man.
Really?
And it's really hard to find. And
The
how do you
maturity
find
level of having a conversation?
Do you know what? And I think the key to finding that man, maybe when we're out of a lockdown, that'll be a good start. But is to not look for it, to let it come to you. And
Exactly.
happiness attracts happiness.
Right. Exactly.
Just as much as anxiety attracts anxiety. So
Yeah.
the good vibes. I mean, I personally don't believe in manifestation. You do,
Yeah.
but I don't. But I do think
I
that
do.
the luck that you draw towards yourself, you're more likely to find it. You know,
Yeah.
because.
But do you know, I think the thing with you is you think that sometimes you're in a bit of a negative mindset. I think you need to be like, yeah, this is going to happen for me. And just put the positive energy out there to get it back,
Right.
to get the success back. It's like,
You reap what you sow.
yeah, exactly.
And
And I
that'll
think
be,
you need
you
to
know-
change your mindset in that way, because sometimes you're a bit like, oh, it might not happen to me.
Yeah.
It might. Who knows?
Who knows? I might find a millionaire tomorrow.
Yeah, but you'll make a million by yourself by tomorrow.
There we
You
go.
never know.
There we go. Which then ties into unemployed but optimistic.
Ooh, yeah.
So what's that then?
Oh my goodness. It's when your dream job doesn't get extended or continued.
Yeah.
It's when lockdown hits you. It's when you think, what was my degree for? What was this debt for?
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep trying, and let's do a different avenue. Let's use this time to focus on something I thought I'd never do before. Like
Hustle.
like modelling. We'd always said, but we'd never done.
Yeah.
Now we've done it. We want to do more. Like my book. I always thought I was going to read this, but I've been getting more and more interest. We're here now.
Yeah.
I can actually
Now
string a
you're
sentence
recording a
together.
podcast for Blaque Falcon, which will
Yeah.
probably be the #1 brand in the next few years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just it is all about being
So yeah.
optimistic.
Yeah.
Is the key. You don't have to
Put out there what
we
you
do not exercise 24 hours of the
Nope.
day. We do not do it. So
No.
why would we try and practice being positive 24 hours of the day? It's almost impossible. It doesn't happen.
But then when people, okay, you're right. I hear when people say, just be positive, but then what is the connotation behind being positive?
Yeah.
Yeah, what does it even mean? Like what?
Negative, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's more to do with, I prefer to use the word attitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you've got an optimistic attitude,
A good attitude, a general
Yeah.
good attitude, one that isn't going to affect everyone else.
Right.
That's
So you see everyone that turns up at the gym every morning, right? You see the same people all the time. You see myself.
Yeah.
I'm usually like one of the first people there.
yeah, you were number 3 today.
I was number
Along an
3. She noticed.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I was number 3 today. So for me, waking up early to go put the work in is just nothing to me. Whereas other people have been like, oh yeah, but it's more about what goal that you're setting for yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe the gym isn't really for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example,
Yep.
the gym works for me, but it may not work for other people. So maybe going for a walk, maybe joining this class, maybe doing yoga, maybe doing this and doing that. Maybe you don't have to
Exactly.
wake up at 4
And
a.m.
that's
Like
okay.
us crazy people.
But that's okay. So then go out and find your niche, find your sass, find
That's right.
your
Yeah,
optimism
100%.
to strive for more. Being
Just
unemployed.
do what you enjoy. Find what you enjoy and just run with it.
Yeah, I have been dumped. I just realised I'd lost was going to lose my job. I hit such a low, but I had my little down moment. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of crying, a lot of eating out, chocolate, whatnot. But I then thought, right,
Vegan chocolate, because obviously
vegan.
you're
Yeah.
Oh, I
IBS.
suffered. I still suffered. I went for dairy. It was a full Monty.
She
But
suffered and I suffered.
But I thought, right, I've gone through that now. Let's move forward. The world doesn't stop. This is what I was saying to Daisy. She'd just broken up with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I said, as much as we want it to, the world doesn't stop. We're adults.
Yeah.
We have to keep moving.
100%.
That's right. So vibrations then, how do you, presumably you said vibrations about you raising your vibrations
Yes.
and staying away from people who carry low vibrations.
Yeah.
So talk about that then.
So you say this to me all the time. I surround myself with people that are like-minded to me.
Yeah.
If we've gone through,
Yeah.
say it.
I think sometimes you surround yourself with people who put a lot of their issues onto you. I love your friends. I think they're amazing, but I think they all seem to have issues that really affect them day to day.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, you
Everyone
know, people,
has, yeah.
everyone does. People, need their friends, but I don't think it's healthy for you.
Sometimes, when you're, as I say, anxiety attracts anxiety. So
Right.
if one of my friends,
So they might confide in you.
yeah, that triggers sometimes a bit of an emotional response from me where I'll think,
Yeah.
oh, I'm really anxious now, or,
Yeah.
but I love to help people. That's in my nature.
Right,
So
right.
it's I have to keep my vibrations high and take that time out of my day to do me. And that might be listening to my murder mystery podcasts. I don't know, something silly like that, which I listen to all the time.
Oh my God, it scares me how much you listen to that.
Oh my God.
Right.
She knows I was a hide a body, just saying.
Yeah, just saying.
You
just
know
saying.
how the body. So you can look at someone's trunk in the car and suss out how many bodies you can put in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm out and about, this is so morbid, but I think if I got taken now, what would I do to get my DNA on that person so that if I didn't make it,
You're
then
mad.
they would get caught? Or
No, I'm
you
sorry,
you
that's
pull
done
your hair
me.
out, you dig your claws into their skin. It's something that interests
Or
me.
try and pull out your teeth and put it in their pocket.
I mean, that's so my eyelashes maybe.
Oh.
Not the fake ones, maybe the real ones.
Do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, interesting.
Yeah, it's just, or if I've got an
You
if
may
I
just
go
saved a
missing
life.
folder, if I go missing, if you don't hear from me because I'm so naff at replying to my friends, it's 3
That
to
is
5
true.
working days.
Yeah,
He
it
knows,
winds me
you
up.
know, everyone
I'm her
knows.
sister, and I'm like, Charlotte, reply to
So
me.
if I went missing, it might take a hot minute for my friends to realise because I'm so naff at replying.
You'll definitely be gone past the 72 hours.
Yeah, so it's like little things. Oh, something's not right.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Even
Dad
Dad will be like, it's been a week. I haven't heard from Charlotte yet.
It's like, oh, it's all right. She's still pending on her reply.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very briefly, before I get to the chapter that I think is kind of rounds everything up, but even though there's another chapter after that. So triggers.
Triggers, really important one. Really, really important. So you've probably been through things that occasionally will come back up, whether it be a really traumatic experience. For example, Claire, you lost someone at uni.
Yeah.
Awful experience.
I
Do you
lost
want to
two.
talk about it?
Yeah, I can do. I mean, I certainly can relate to this by all means. It affects me even daily, to be honest. So in my second year at university, I was on the cheerleading team, one of the cheerleaders. We'd all had a night out. I know, we all had a night out, and she didn't show up the next day for our photos in our kits. And we were like, oh, why is she not here? And she had committed suicide that night after our night out, and nobody knew. And it was a really traumatic way of finding out. And then I thought, oh, well, it's happened to me once. I won't know anyone who's done it again. So I'll just, I'll try and get through it as much as I can. And then 2 years, well, not even 2 years later, about a year and a half later, my housemate committed suicide whilst he was on holiday with his family. And I found out on holiday. And I'd lived with him for a year, and I'd been through... It made me realise I'd seen his demons attacking him. And
again, he came from a really, wealthy,
privileged
lovely
background.
family.
Yeah.
And he had so many demons.
So many. And I would have thought that, seeing as, I'd been through it once, I'd seen the signs of someone going through such a struggle, but I didn't see the signs. I did, but I didn't do anything about them,
But
and I do regret that. But
this will be triggered, like, you'll get triggered by this if we're watching a movie, if something's a little bit,
songs at the funeral. There was a song that just took me.
I can't listen to a song. Maybe it's a twin thing, the twin telepathy, but I can't listen to a certain song because it makes me cry, because I know it will make you cry.
Yeah.
And it's the triggers of, for me, my anxiety. What triggers my anxiety are, I can sense when I'm getting short of breath, when I get tingly in my hands. Normally, if it's when I see someone else, or confrontation normally does it for me, but it's learning your triggers. Sometimes they can just happen. It's how you deal with them when they do.
They happen to me,
and learn to
just randomly
to get them that little bit earlier. Every time it's that little bit earlier, just so you know when it's coming, or know how to prevent it, or not prevent as such, but to suppress, but as in deal with it.
Someone to have someone there to help you with it.
It's like a really old film, like Shawshank Redemption. Great film. Have you seen? You must have seen. Yeah. And there's a part in it that someone hangs themselves, right?
Yeah.
And
after he gets released out of prison, and he's like, no, I can't take this life, then he hangs himself. Yeah.
And I've seen Claire physically get up and walk out of the room because you know it's going to be your trigger. And it's
and like there's what was that film with Star is Born with Lady Gaga?
I haven't seen that, no.
Oh.
Well, the ending is very triggering, to say the least. And we watched it with our dad for the first time, and I left 10 minutes before the end because I knew that was going to happen. And I just can't watch stuff like that because it's happened to me twice with people that I've known, and it just really, there's something about it's sort of probably my
and do you know
mechanism.
What triggers are so personal to the individual. They're such a secret part because they're unique to you, but it's how you they can be so toxic, and it's so good to know and to learn when what are your triggers, and when you're going through a dip, you're thinking, oh, life's not great at the moment, what's triggering this, how can I change it, or how can I ride through the motions to get through to the other side again.
Amazing. That's it. I can't really expect you to go into any more deeper than that. I mean, I suppose the only time that you can get into it is just read the book, really.
Absolutely. I mean, the book, my last chapter, I think, is No Means to an End. So there's no ending to this book. It's ongoing. It goes on and on. You deal with the emotions every day and deal with things every day.
10 years you can do an update.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
maybe
good
5.
idea.
Maybe 5, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those. It's something that hopefully will be ready soon.
Yeah.
And
when
hopefully
you're ready,
everyone
you know
will
who
read.
to call. I know
100%.
I know the guy.
She's doing my marketing.
Perfect.
I'll design
Free of charge.
Do what I did. And do a launch party.
Yes.
Do a launch party. Do it.
Tell you what.
Do it local. Do it. Anyway, I'll tell you afterwards where you should do it. But yeah, do a launch party, and if you let me know in good time, I'll let everyone in the gym know, and then we'll all come down.
100%.
I'll make sure.
Everyone look out, because it's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's it.
The confidence is key.
Yeah, that's it, man. Your book will fly. Right, so next chapter, nearly there. What with all the shit going on?
Yeah.
I like this one because of I'm gonna let you break this one down. So go on.
So what with all this shit going on?
Because it's a bit open-ended. You could be referring to what's happening now, or you could be referring to the time period in which the reader will be reading this.
So this is
World War III in the next 3 years.
Yeah, this is one of
they
those
could be
things.
in Iraq, in a war-torn area, and they're reading your book. But with all this shit going on,
Literally looking around like, no, this is one of those chapters that I haven't gone into as much as the others yet.
Okay. Right, so it's still pending then.
It is pending. It's
right, so this particular chapter, you're still just in the.
It's a bit of a grey area at the moment.
Yeah.
Again, I want to make sure that I'm speaking to my target audience enough for them. I mean, initially it was to do with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to mention it.
Mm.
Coronavirus. I didn't really want to mention COVID, but it was almost impossible not to. And I want people to look back and think, oh my God, this was all happening during, a pandemic.
Mm.
I think it's all about experiencing things that no one's ever experienced before, and how I dealt with it, and how you dealt with it, and how you will deal with it, and how the things that I've gone through, they can link to their own experiences. And I mentioned that a lot of the self-help books, they're a lot older. They spoke about a time period that they had years ago that they've overcome.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to speak very much in the now,
Yeah.
very much how we're dealing with them, like things now. And that's why I'm kind of under pressure to get this done. I don't want it to be 3 years before I get this done. I want it to be sharpish, so it's still fresh in people's minds.
How many pages is it roughly?
Well, I've done 11,000 words, so it's not loads, but it's all the what I've done is like a little breakdown. All the blueprints are there. It just needs
planned.
Yeah, it's all planned.
11,000 words. So what's that? What? 150 pages.
Something like
That's
that.
good.
It's
So
gotta
that's
be
a short book then.
I
So that's like a
know.
quick read for people. That's all right.
I know.
Because then that means you're getting straight to the point rather than just talking.
No waffling.
I'm very conscious of waffling in this book because do you know what?
That will
because
work.
it's such an emotionally
And it's not a
triggering
story.
book.
My first book is 250 pages.
Yeah.
And it's
That's good.
but that's a creative writing,
Yeah.
so it has to be somewhat lengthy.
Yeah.
The second book is just over 500.
Yeah, you've gone
Wow.
mad. You've gone. It's
Smash
Right,
it.
exactly. So, hey, look, J.K. Rowling did 700 and something for that Harry Potter book.
probably just for chapter 1 as well.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Blimey.
With writing this big.
yeah, but your one is more autobiographical, but linking with self-help. So I think
Absolutely.
that length might actually work.
And also, I've really tried to stress that it's not a depressing book. I don't want people coming out having panic attacks from reading it. I want to make sure that it's raw, but it's not.
I would always say finish off on a positive. Like
Yeah,
finish
it
off
doesn't-
with
And you do.
something. Yeah.
Looking at this.
Yeah,
So let's get into the next one. Living in the now. I think you've already mentioned that anyway.
I have.
Living in the now.
Living in the now.
So what's that to you?
So, obviously, during COVID, the world did stop for a period of time. Everyone slowed down. That kind of anger and hunger for ambition that we see so much in young people now. Constantly looking at social media, constantly looking at, if you're not got this much money, if you've not got this car, then you're not doing well. And it's all about. I personally do find it hard with having anxiety to live in the now. I'm always thinking of, I'm going to worry about this, or something happened today. I said this. Oh my God, he's going to think I'm an idiot. Like, it's difficult when you've got anxiety to live in the now, but it's such a key part, and it's something that, even though the pandemic has done a lot of damage, this is what we can use for good, because we've had to slow down, and a lot of people have used Instagram for good. You've got your, Claire's Creations Instagram page.
I don't use it now, but yeah.
People have found new and more positive ways of dealing with things that maybe were a bit negative to them. Like, for me, Instagram was such a pressure. Had to get this many likes. Whereas now, going through lockdown, I've actually had the time to find out what I actually want to post on Instagram, and compare to what I think I should post. And
Your best outfits that I see.
yeah,
No,
Always.
I like the ones that. I always like the ones that I'm like, good shot.
yeah, a thought goes into that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just think
Who's
living
your
in.
photographer? Oh, it's my mate.
It's my mate and my tripod.
Right. I got
It's
you.
self-timer.
Yeah.
It's taught people to be artists in their own time.
Yeah.
And, I really don't think it's a bad thing. And living in the now is, as much as you can use your phone for a platform, but it's putting it down. And like I said, I've never been more grateful for the friends that I've got, because they will do things I just didn't expect them. Not because they're.
No, it's
And
it's
but lockdown and this environment and living right now has brought out so many different things in people that you just wouldn't have seen.
Exactly.
And it's a really positive thing.
Right.
It really is.
Which then takes me to, which I think you've already touched on it, which is the last chapter, No Means to an End.
Yeah, and like Claire said, positive note, ending on a positive note, it's like that.
Or it's more sort of not ending, it's knowing the journey's still going on.
Yeah, and so you're still finding yourself. There's no pressure, there's no
Yeah.
time limit, and there's no you should have this done by this age. like our grandparents will say, you should
Right.
be married. Like,
Yeah.
it's none of that. You know, it's about taking what you've learned throughout the book, using it,
Yeah.
and the key message is you never know who you're going to inspire ever.
Exactly.
You know, you never know what
No.
the next person is going to think by you
Exactly.
just sharing your journey. So
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Everything just comes out random. The
Maybe I
reason
should-
why this podcast came out of nowhere is because
I took your temperature at the gym.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I found out that you wrote your book. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, I've written a book, and then I told you. I told you that I wrote my book, and then you
did.
told me that you wrote yours.
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and I read your paragraph, and I was like, yeah, I like your writing style, blah blah blah. And then I was just talking about the writing process, and you were asking me how I did mine.
Yeah.
And then
And
you
it was
was
murder, which I
Yeah.
loved.
and then you mentioned about you doing a podcast, and I was thinking about, so how am I, now that I'm not working full time like I used to, I'm kind of working more on this now, basically a full-time entrepreneur now. How am I best able to then market myself? I wanted to do cocktail parties, I wanted to do brunches or something like that, but obviously speaking with various venues, it's a bit difficult for them.
Oh, 100%.
You got to book tables.
So you can have a cocktail party, but for 6 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including the bartender.
You know
So
what I mean?
annoying.
Exactly. So I just thought podcast would be best way to do it. And not only that,
Yeah.
in the gym, there's actually quite a few interesting people there as well.
Yeah,
who actually live
100%.
Interesting lives like you two. I mean,
Oh,
you know what I
100%
mean?
more than a
Example.
receptionist, anyway. That's what I like to say.
Well, I saw that first time. So, you know,
Thank you for
here
for
we
seeing
are.
that.
So again, this is our first ever podcast. On that note, before we end this, do you have any more guy questions to throw at me?
Claire.
Oh, the pressure.
Are you seeing someone right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Now, what's my biggest question?
That makes me feel like such a great third wheel.
Yeah, but
No,
then you can
it's
throw
fine.
something at me as well. Go on.
I'm trying to think. What?
How long have you been seeing it?
So 7 months,
Okay.
and we've been going out for 2. But I've known him for a year and a half.
Whoa, hold on. You've been seeing him for 7 months, but you've been going out for 2.
As in, like, boyfriend and girlfriend for 2.
Okay.
But, like,
We're 15.
romantically for about 7 or 8
Right,
months.
so you've been involved. All right.
Yeah.
Right, so he sealed the deal for 2 months now.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
So
Okay.
I don't know what my question would be. Do you wake up and know suddenly what you want, or for a guy, because a lot of guys are like, oh, don't want to get into like the relationship, just want to have an easy life. Do you wake up one day and grow up overnight, kind of thing, and think,
Yeah.
I know what I want in life. I want this.
That
and
takes. I can really speak for myself. That takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
In terms of relationships. right?
Yeah.
So in terms of a relationship, when a guy is kind of like, I'm not sure, it's more to do with I haven't got the resources to give you the life that I think that you want.
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
That is really. I would.
Boys
didn't
are
think
like that.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
not
it's
the
like
right
in my
person
mind.
for you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's
yeah.
not so much there's anything wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because there isn't anything wrong
No.
with you. It's
I'm not at the stage of my life that I can provide you what you want.
if you had a
Wow.
child tomorrow, would I be physically, spiritually, and mentally able in order to look after that child the best of my ability? And the answer is usually no if he's young.
Yeah.
My mind is blown. Didn't think like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's my main guy question.
Oh, yeah.
Go on, Claire. Charlotte.
Oh,
First time
yeah.
I
Oh,
wrote you
already getting us mixed up.
Go on, Shah
Oh.
underscore XX.
XXX.
Oh, is it 3 X's?
It's
Is it?
3 X's.
Shah underscore Shah XXX.
Underscore XXX, yeah. Follow. Like, subscribe. I'm joking. No, I don't really know what to ask because I feel like for me, I'm not even looking for a relationship at the moment.
Good.
Doesn't have to be a
Good.
relationship
I'm
question.
doing me. Huh?
It doesn't have to be a relationship question.
I asked her and the other girl behind the bar, what's her name? Lauren. I asked her, why do girls always go in groups to the toilet?
Oh, this is such an amazing one. So, everyone's going to know this. You make best friends for life in the loo.
Yeah, you do.
You don't go on your own.
A minute.
You wouldn't go on an alleyway down on your own at night, would you? So you don't go to the
So you
bathroom
don't
on
go
your
to
own
the
at
bathroom on your
night.
own.
Go with a girl.
1 minute you'll be just, talking to someone in the queue. Next minute you'll be sharing lip
So
glosses.
us three are in a bar right now,
Yeah.
and one of you
I
decides to
go,
go to the loo.
I need
Both
the
of
loo,
you
and
go
you're
and
like,
just leave me
I'm
out there
coming.
on my
Yeah.
own.
We would never
I'm
leave you
coming,
out
girl.
there. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you're in there, it is like a whole nother. It's like a
You
whole
share
nother
things
level.
that you share with your nearest and dearest of
Oh my
random
God,
girls.
did you see that guy? Have you
Yeah.
seen his
You'll
earring?
be like, well, I'm
I
talking
have
to
this
a guy.
issue, or I've been speaking to this guy,
And
and
there's someone in there crying. There's someone in there throwing up.
someone
there's
needs a
someone
shot.
Doing a line? Or?
Someone,
Yeah, well, even some
that
girls.
floats your boat. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's someone else who needs a hairbrush. Well, you've got a hairbrush. Oh, have you got that matte lip gloss? Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
God,
it
I
is
love that colour eyeshadow on you.
It's bizarre the things that go down in the girls' bathrooms.
I
at
can't wait
clubs.
for it again.
I miss it. I actually miss it.
Yeah,
I'm getting
but
withdrawal.
Soon come.
I know. It's like something that guys will never understand. And there's actually a podcast called The Girls' Bathroom, and there's two friends, and they will talk about problems. Some people will send them like a paragraph of their problem, and they'll discuss it and come up with a solution. And this is
That's
the type
so
of shit
funny.
you talk about in the girls' bathrooms at a club
Yeah.
when you've had 10 drinks.
Like, guys don't do that, no.
No.
Like, guys don't go, oh, can you hold that, please? I need to
Nah,
do this on my phone.
nah, we
Like,
just
they're
do
not
our,
like that.
nah,
They just
nah,
do
we
their
just do our
thing,
thing
they
and then
get
we go
out.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're done. Yeah,
Whereas
we're done.
girls
Yeah.
are very, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm still waiting for your guy question before we end this. Or you
Yeah.
could just ask me afterwards.
I mean, with guys, so
We're
Oh
nearly
my
done.
God, Charlotte.
I know it's a really difficult one. Say if you were looking at twins,
Yeah.
how would you know which one you wanted to go up to and chat up on a night out?
It's
How would you-
energy. Sorry, I'm answering for
Yeah,
you.
let the
How
guy
rude of me.
speak.
What was that? What did you say?
Energy.
Yeah.
I would speak to both of you.
Yeah, I get that.
See, I don't want to sound too arrogant, but what separates me from a lot of dudes in my past, from what I remember, is I never really had that approach anxiety
Yeah.
about speaking to girls
Yeah,
at
yeah,
clubs.
Yeah,
There's
going up
guys
to
that will
girls.
not
That's
go
like
up to
me and
girls.
you. So like Daisy our best friend used to never want to speak to guys. Be like, oh my God, I don't want to go up
Yeah,
to
but you're
him.
not supposed to. You're a girl. Guys
Yeah,
are supposed to go to
true.
you.
But it's
True,
2020,
fair.
and do you know what? Life's too short.
And we were too, we were too
You
confident.
could do that. You
Do
could
you know what I
approach
mean?
men if you want to, but anyway, I've never had that issue. So in answer to your question, I would just go to both of you. and
I've
talk.
got one more.
Go on.
And this is such a classic. There's so many girls that are talking to a guy, oh, he did this, he aired me, he did this. If a guy is genuinely interested in you, will he text you? Simple as. If he genuinely sees a future, he won't beat around the bush, he won't try and play any game, he will just text you, just want to meet up. No playing games.
How did you all
She's
meet?
looking like... She's like this. What's the answer there?
How did you all meet then? Okay, us two. Right, how did we meet then? In a club?
No.
Where?
Gym.
Okay. So you want to know?
Like
okay, go
if
on.
I was trying to talk
I'm trying to
a-
get the right scenario in mind so I answered it
So-
correctly.
if I was talking to a guy
Yeah.
and he was like, oh, do you I was talking to my friends and he hadn't texted me all day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's not that interested. And then he was like, oh, yes, we going out then, or but then he kind of he wouldn't discuss things that maybe he wouldn't talk about me. He wouldn't ask
Right.
me questions. He would go on dates, but then
Wait, you're not painting a very clear picture, Charlotte.
Yeah,
You
no,
need
it's
to be
not clear.
it's a
straight
really
up.
difficult
Stop
thing to
You're talking about the
describe.
other dudes you were
Muffling.
seeing that time, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I don't wanna
just
say the
think
place,
if
but-
I,
Wait, in
That
pure,
place that will never take anyone.
yeah.
if a guy is genuinely interested in you,
Yeah.
romantically wants
Yeah.
more from you,
Yeah.
he will show it.
Yes. Correct.
A man,
Correct. A
a
real
boy
dude.
won't necessarily.
A boy would show you mixed signals.
Yeah.
He would, because again, it's like what I said before, because he's unsure, he would kind of beat around the bush.
Yeah.
What you doing on Saturday? My mates are going up here. Are you and your girls wanting to come out just to get your attention?
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm serious, I'd want to isolate you from your friends.
Yeah.
And I
Like,
just
let's
want
go
you
out
for
for
you.
dinner.
So that I get to know what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
I like it.
And you know what you want,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to come across too keen.
Because I know that women are obviously judging and they're ticking their boxes in their mind, but what girls have to understand is guys are also ticking boxes in their mind as well. Is she going to be a great mum?
Okay.
Is she going to be an interesting partner to live with?
Yeah.
Can I deal with that?
Is she going to be a nightmare?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Does she
She
leave
crazy.
empty milk cartons in the fridge?
Every
Does she let
every
the
girl
cheese
is
go
crazy
off in the
though.
fridge? Does she, you know what I mean? Is she messy? Does she just leave her
Is she-
shoes? Does she walk into a living room with her trainers on? And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Those little things.
Yeah.
And
Love it.
The only way for you to find out is for you to just jump.
Yeah. With 2 feet in heels.
Cool.
And by the way, when I was asking about the scenarios, I was just kind of make up an
Yeah,
example,
cool,
not as
yeah.
in really in
No,
genuine,
yeah.
Okay.
It's, yeah. I don't think we're in a trash now. Thank you.
Yeah, see? All right. So that concludes today's first ever episode. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
www.blaquefalcon.co.uk. Peace.
Peace.